Shantemayalu ha yelo. Toha ni chaja na wa cha yomakti. Toha awichi cha cha waloa wachin. Toha wachin ka cha uchius pa wachin. Ha happy ataya ichipu trake. Toha yotie yakie hanta Misaki bia na wajingte ohini tejichila. Mahasani ichbeya ichia inkdeshni chantemayaluha na nishnala te chichila. These are very, very beautiful words. this this means when I hear your name, I get all warm inside. When I think of you, I just want to sing. Whenever I see you, I want to hold you and kiss you all night long. Hola. It continues. Translation. Whenever times get really difficult for you, I will stand beside you. I'll always love you. My one and only true love, I'll never leave you. You have my heart, and I only love you. Holy, powerful words there. Yeah? That was me singing, if you didn't recognize. I wrote that song back in... Geez, you know what? I wrote that song about 10 years ago. And when I was still living in South Dakota at the time. And I thought to myself, I want to write a love song in Lakota. And how could I do this? In the past, I've written songs for women who I was in love with. In the past, I wrote a song for this girlfriend and that girlfriend. And it seemed like every time I wrote a song for somebody, that relationship ended. I can laugh about it now, yeah, but back then it was painful. Oh my gosh! And one time, for one of my ex-girlfriends, I wrote a song for her birthday. And she was like, okay, and then just a few days later, that relationship ended. So I stopped doing that. Yeah. So whenever I was with somebody, I decided, I'm not gonna write any more songs for girlfriends anymore because I lose them whenever I do that. Like it's jinxing the relationship or something. Not that superstitious. And so anyway, 10 years ago, I was thinking, this was before I moved to Berlin. I was thinking to myself, okay, I want to write a love song. A love song, the best love song that I ever written since, But I don't want it to be about anybody. I just want it to be a love song, period. So how could I do this? Yeah? How can I have to choose my words and pretend that I'm singing to somebody specific in mind, so that all these emotions would come to the forefront here. Yeah. So I had to imagine I was in love with a certain woman who doesn't exist. I had to create this person in my mind. And I had to think, okay, I'm going to write a story between this woman and myself. and how we met and how we fell in love and how strong our love was for each other, and that the more that our relationship lasted, the stronger our love became for each other. And that when a difficulty came to the relationship, we both looked at it and, you know, tried to study it as best as we could, to learn from it and make the best out of the situation, so that when we do that, our love gets stronger for each other. I had to do all this in my mind. Yeah, so I created a pretend relationship here to get in the mood. Yeah, to put myself in the mood, and to be there. You know, this is the mind. How the mind is very, very powerful. So I visualized all of this to, you know, I visualized it as if it really did exist. This is a Lakota love song method. Yeah, when you write love songs in Lakota, you write it in such a way that you are singing about the person that you're in love with, but you sing it, you know, maybe you didn't meet yet, yeah? Maybe you know who she is, but you're a little bit shy in talking to her. So you sing these songs, and you sing these songs as if the relationship is happening right now. It's like a visualization, but with the voice. So you could call it a vocalization. So a long time ago, love songs, the way they were is the man, he pretends he's the woman that he's in love with. Okay? So then he will sing, it's like she's talking to her sister, yeah, and or her cousin, yeah, and so you hear love songs that start out like Jephanshi, I really like this man. He's really cute. I can't stop thinking about him. See, he's singing this. See, he's pretending to be the girl that he's in love with, and that this is what she's saying. He's doing this to hope that she will feel this way. So she will, in the future, sing this or say these things to her sister or her cousin. Yeah, that's how Lakota love songs are. So when you hear them, it's always a man singing, and so you hear him use women terms. Yeah, and it's because he's pretending to be the woman that he's in love with, and he's hoping that she will say these words that he's singing. Yeah, that's kind of like trying to, it's a thought and it's a way to bring it into reality. Because see, this is something we learn in Lakota Star knowledge. It's all based on this the most basic Lakota Star knowledge concept, which is reality begins within. So when you use, not just in love, but in other things, when you visualize something, that you want to happen, and it has to be healthy though, yeah. And so when you visualize it as if you have it now, or that you are in that situation right now, and then you do your part to make it happen. Yeah, that's how we accomplish our goals. So in love, what men do is they pretend they are the woman they are in love with. And they say these words of love, about themselves, actually, because they're pretending to be the girl. And so they do this to, influence that girl to come to think or to fall in love with him. You see what I mean? It's like a vocalization in a visualization way to try to bring it to pass, to try to influence the love to begin. Do you see what I mean? So using that same thought process, that's what I did. I did something similar. Not the exact same thing, but something similar. And that what I did was that I invented a relationship in my mind. Okay? It's not based on anybody that I know. So I had to create a person, a woman, in my mind, and develop a whole story in my mind of how me and this woman met and how we fell in love with each other. How that, as we learned from difficulty and made the best of it, that we increased our love towards each other. And before this can happen, though, see, you have to do that to yourself. Because there's another Lakota star knowledge concept that says like attracts like. Yeah? So however you are, that's what you attract. So if you want a healthy relationship, you have to be healthy first. Then you attract it. Okay? So a healthy person, like I said at the beginning of the show, learns from difficulty. He gets to know himself by taking care of himself physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And he comes to peace with his past. So this way he is able to stay in the present moment. And when he thinks of that past that has events that bothered him, or it used to bother him, it doesn't bother him anymore because he came to peace with it. Yeah? You come to peace with the difficulties from your past, is what I'm trying to say. So when you do think of them afterwards, it doesn't bother you anymore because you dealt with it, you faced it, you learned from it, you made the best out of it, and you're at peace with it. So the emotions are gone that were with that memory. And this keeps you in the present moment, and it also helps you to remember more of the good times that happened in your past. And when you think of those, you feel that again. Yeah, you feel those emotions again. And that's like medicine because it was a good time. Yeah, it was a fantastic memory. So it makes you feel fantastic again. That's medicine. So coming to peace with your difficulties from your past helps you to do this more often. And then you stay in the present moment, and when you really appreciate life as it's happening right now. Yeah? And this shows in the way you communicate, it shows in how you receive communication from others. And this is learning, this is living, and this is loving. So when you do that to yourself, then you are healthy. Yeah? Emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Excuse me. Then you attract somebody this way too. Yeah? Excuse me, sorry about that. So, when you do attract somebody like this, she's going to be the same way. Yeah? Or the other one, I should say. It's going to be the same way because you're this way, and the person you attract is going to be this way too. So you both know the value of difficulty, that it can lead to blessings when you learn from it and make the most of it. Because when you do that, the emotions from that difficult experience leave, and they're replaced with peace and knowledge and wisdom. Yeah? So you both know that because you live it. So when a difficulty comes to your relationship, you apply that same concept in that you both take a look at it, you learn from it, you make the most out of it, and the chance is great that your love will increase for each other even more. Yeah? And so this is what I tried to create in my mind. Yeah, a relationship in my mind where I'm creating a healthy woman in my mind that I naturally attract because I'm this way as well. And then I thought to myself, okay, now what do I say to this woman? Yeah, what can I say to this woman in my mind? Yeah, so then here's the words. Yeah, when I hear your name, I get all warm inside. When I think of you, I just want to sing. Whenever I see you, I want to hold you and kiss you all night long. Whenever times get really difficult for you, I will stand beside you. I'll always love you. My one and only true love, I'll never leave you. You have my heart, and I only love you. And I thought, wow, that's cool. Yeah. So in Lakota, let me read it one more time. Yeah. The lyrics in Lakota go, Donha ni chaje na wa cha iomakti. Donha awichi ukja chawaloa wa chun. Donha wa chianka cha ochius ba wa chun. Ha happy ataya I ijipu take. Powerful words. Continuing. Excuse me. Doha eotea ya kia hanta nisaki bia na wajing te ohini techichila mahasani ichpea ichia inkdeshini chantemayaluha na nishnala techichila. That's the Lakota words. And when those of you that understand Lakota, these words are powerful. Yeah, they really are coming from the heart. Yeah, just strong love for this other one. Yeah, and these are really beautiful words in Lakota. So this is what I created in my mind. Yeah, I created this in my mind, a relationship. So it's not based on any woman that I know. Yeah, and so I wrote the lyrics and then I practiced them. And then, okay, now I'm going to the recording studio and I'm going to record this song. I couldn't do it. Because the words are really powerful. Yeah, and I might get through the second line and then I end up getting all emotional over this woman. Yeah, in reality, she only exists in my mind. This is not anybody I know. In reality, yeah, but in my mind, it's a relationship that I created. So I really put myself in that relationship. This is the visualization aspect, yeah. So I was singing, don't know how does that go? Don't ni cha nawa cha iyo makpi don't awichi cha cha. Then right around this point, Waloa Wachin is coming, the next words, but then my voice starts getting cracked, it gets shaky and starts cracking. The next thing you know, I ended up off guy, and this wasn't even about a real woman. Yeah, it was about a relationship that I created all in my mind, but I got so into it that it was actually like it really did exist. Do you know what I mean? It was like this relationship was real. See, remember what I said. Reality begins within. This is what Lakota Star Knowledge teaches. So this song, if I follow Lakota tradition, is supposed to bring that woman because I'm visualizing it. Do you see what I mean? Oh man, I really have good memories of that. It took me. This song is just about. Well, how long is this song here? Let me look at the time thing here. It's only 3 minutes and 40 seconds long. Yeah, and the lyrics are even shorter. Because it's just the lyrics. And it took me about 4 hours to record this song because I kept getting too emotional. Yes, I had to stop and catch my breath and start again. So what I ended up doing was recording one line at a time. I would sing one line and then start with the next one, then stop the tape player, the recorder, I mean. And then I had to do something called punch in, punch out. And that's where you set 2 points digitally. And so you play the tape before the punch in point, okay? So as soon as it gets to the punch in, the record button goes on automatically. And so I start singing. And then I just go until as far as I can. And then when the punch out point comes, then the record button goes off by itself. Yeah. So that's how I had to do that. This punch in, punch out. I had to do that throughout the whole song. And I finally made it through. Yeah? After 4 hours of doing that, I finally made it through. And the funny thing is that the hardest part to sing was the Lakota part. Because these words are really powerful that I'm saying here. Yeah? This Toha Iotia Yakia Honta Nisaki Nawajink. That is really emotional to say that. Yeah, it's really emotional. What that means is whenever times get really difficult for you, I'll always stand beside you. It's another way of saying I'll never leave you, even when times get tough. But in Lakota, since this is my language, when I say that in Lakota, it really grabs me from the heart. Yeah, and it's really difficult. And this other one, Mahasani, is a very sacred term. And I'll explain that in a few minutes. But that goes Mahasani. This is let me explain that later. But it's a term that couples call each other who are together for a really long time, and they are, they experience life together. They learn from all difficulties, and so it's like, in some way, they become one, even though they still have their individual identity. Do you see what I mean? It's like 1 + 1 = 1. Do you see what I mean? Or 100 + 100 = 100. That's what it means. So it's not you complete me. It's not like that. It's not like saying you're my other half or you complete me. I just said that. Those are unhealthy statements. Yeah? Those are dualistic because it creates a dependency on the other one, that you're incomplete. And if you're incomplete, that means you're not healthy. You see what I mean? So what I explained earlier about living a healthy life and having peace in yourself and learning from difficulties to enjoy blessings, what I said concerning that? This is what makes you complete. This way is what makes you 100%. Yeah? That you're healthy emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So you're 100%. Yeah? And so you attract somebody who's also 100%. They're like you. Yeah? And when you meet and fall in love, it does not become 200. No. Instead, what happens is the relationship becomes it's like an extension of the relationship. You see what I mean? The relationship becomes. I think I said that wrong. Let me say that one more time. The relationship is an extension of each person's identity. So you don't become the relationship. Okay? What happens is that the relationship is like another dimension of both of your lives. And that's what 100% plus 100% equals 100% means. That's Lakota Star Knowledge. Concept of love and relationships and intimacy. Okay? So, in Lakota, you don't say, you complete me. Or, excuse me, you don't say things like, I'm nothing without you. I can't live without you. Those are really unhealthy things to say in Lakota because that shows that you're emotionally underdeveloped. But Lakota Star Knowledge teaches you to be emotionally and spiritually developed. That means you're 100%. Yeah? In duality, you say things like I need you. Yeah? In duality, you say things like you complete me or you're my other half. That's duality. In duality, it's 50% plus 50% equals 100%. And this is in Lakota Star Knowledge. This is not good. Yeah, because it's codependency. It means you're not complete. Yeah. So again, in Lakota Star Knowledge, it's 100% plus 100% equals 100%. And I know mathematically that doesn't make sense, but in Lakota Star Knowledge, it does. Because what this represents is that each one of you in the relationship is 100%. And the relationship is an extension of each of your identities. So that relationship is 100% too. But each one of you is also 100%. That's healthy. Yeah? That's how you have a healthy relationship. And remember, in life, difficulties can happen even out of the blue for no reason at all. So that's why it's important to know how to deal with difficulties. So it doesn't matter if the difficulties came because of something you did or because of something the other person did or if it just came out of the blue. You treat it all the same way. Yeah? You learn from it. You make the best of it. And as I said before, when you do this, the emotions leave. Those difficult emotions that came with that difficulty, they leave. And that's replaced with peace, knowledge, wisdom, and your love for each other increases as well as the peace within you. That leads to something called Mahasani. Yeah, and when you're healthy like this, and your partner is too, and you are always learning from your difficulties, and your relationship continues to get stay healthy, and your love only gets stronger for each other. In time, this 100% that represents the relationship, this is going to really be a blessing to you. And that's sacred. Yeah? That's when you start to almost know what the other one is going to say. You know what I mean? And things really get beautiful at that point. And that's when each partner calls the other Mahasani. which means my other skin. Yeah, it's symbolic. Yeah, and so it's like I said, it's 100% plus 100% equals 100%. That's Mahasani. Yeah, when you can understand that, then you understand what Mahasani means. You see what I mean? The relationship is an extension and another dimension of your individual identity, as well as of your partner's individual identity. When you can understand that and you see that, how it works, this is sacred. Yes, I can't give you the whole definition or explanation. This is something that is sacred, and this is something you can't just talk. You can't just give that kind of information out in the public like this because it's sacred. Yeah. But those who live this way, you know what I mean. You know what Mahasani really is. And just talking about relationships, that's our topic. Mahasani. When you first hear that word, it sounds Japanese. Yeah, Mahasani, Mahasani. it is a term that people use who are in healthy relationships for several, well, actually for many years. So it's not a term you use right away. You have to get to a point where you really understand what 100% plus 100% equals 100% means. What it means is that 100% is you living a healthy life, and living in such a way that you learn from your difficulties and you are making the most of it, so that the difficult emotions that come with that experience leave. And then this is replaced with peace, knowledge, and wisdom, which are blessings. And you take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally as best as you can, so that you come to peace with the things that bothered you from your past. When you do that, there's no more emotional attachment, because you're treating it like a difficulty. It brings you peace, knowledge, and wisdom. And that helps you to remember more of the nice things that happened in your past. So that when you remember those nice things, it's like you feel it all over again. And that is medicine. That is healthy medicine for you. And all of this helps you to stay in the present moment. And living in the present moment, or the here and now, influences the future in a healthy way. So this is where you really have power. Yeah? But you have to get there first by establishing peace within your life. Because Lakota Star Knowledge teaches reality begins within. So when you do this, you are becoming 100%. Meaning you don't need anybody to complete you. You don't need anybody to make up for your emotional underdevelopment. So when you're this way, you develop spiritually and emotionally, and you will attract somebody the same way. So you are 100%, and you attract somebody who is also 100%, and that's the 100 plus 100. Okay? Then when you enter into a relationship with each other, that relationship is actually a new dimension to your identity and your partner's identity. Yeah? It's a new dimension. It's an extension. That's the equals 100% part of that equation, because it's a new thing. Yeah? So you still, both of you are still 100%, and the relationship is another dimension of each of you, and that's 100% as well. That's what 100% plus 100% equals 100% means. Mathematically, I know that doesn't make sense. However, we're talking about love here, not math. Yeah? So that's the star knowledge information concerning that Lakota star knowledge. So, as you are able to handle difficulties now when you live this way, and you know that difficulties will come to you because of something you did, or because of something somebody else did, or just out of the blue. And no matter how it comes, you treat all of it the same way. Getting to know it, making the most of it, coming to peace with it. Yeah? As I said earlier. And so both of you know this. When both of you are emotionally healthy, you both know this. So the same thing is going to happen to your new dimension, yeah, meaning your relationship. It will also experience difficulties, and that's okay because that's part of life. Yeah, that is a part of life. And the sooner we learn about that and what difficulties are, the sooner we realize there are opportunities to receive blessings. So, when difficulties come to a relationship, this is an opportunity for you and your partner to increase your love for one another. That's beautiful. Yeah? So, there's no good versus evil in this way. Yeah? This is all about living a healthy way and attracting somebody healthy and having a healthy relationship. So you see, to have a healthy relationship, you have to be in a healthy relationship with yourself first, because reality begins within. Then this is going to project by natural law outside of you, and that's when you attract somebody who's like you in a healthy way. So this is the way it works in Lakota Star knowledge. Okay? So, and like I said, when you live this way for a long period of time in the same relationship, then you start to see more of what this equation means that says 100% plus 100% equals 100%. As you realize the other things that it means. Because I didn't tell you the whole definition. But when you learn what other meanings are, then you understand this term Mahasani, which means my other skin. Yeah, technically. But it's talking symbolically. Yeah, it's a sacred term. So that's how it goes. So anyway, there's another term that contemporary Lakota people use, which technically doesn't make sense. They call each other Chantescuya, and this doesn't make sense really, because what they're trying to do is say sweetheart. Chante means heart, and Skuya means tastes sweet. So it doesn't mean sweet as in emotion or love. It doesn't mean it like that. It means something you eat or something you drink that tastes sweet. Do you see what I mean? So Chantescuya does not really mean sweetheart. What it means is a heart that is sweet tasting when you eat it. Do you see what I mean? That's a different thing. So I don't use that term. Yeah, Chantescuya. That doesn't really make sense. I mean, when you try to use it in a romantic way, yeah, because it's like hinting at cannibalism. Yeah, I want to eat your heart because it tastes sweet. That's not a nice thing to say. Shoot. So I avoid that term, yeah, because technically, like I said, in Lakota language, it doesn't make sense. That's translating an English term into Lakota, and many times that does not work. Yeah. So that's not the thing to do. So if you want to say sweetheart, well, say sweetheart, yeah, or something like that. Let's see what else. What's the guy gonna say concerning that? This whole Mahasani thing. Yeah, I guess that's how that is. I know in some cultures and some languages they have special words for one another. Yeah? Like in Spanish, and people say "cari" to each other. It's kind of sweet. Yeah, it's nice to hear that. And of course, English, there's all kinds of words. sweet cheeks and hey. That's my favorite one, sweet cheeks. Rugged guy. Anyway, this is always a nice topic to discuss, yeah, concerning love, concerning relationships, and because it's a part of communication. We were designed to communicate. That's just the way it is, yeah. We were designed to communicate, and communication includes not just saying things, but how you say it. It includes doing things and how you do those things. Yeah? It includes listening. It includes, seeing something and then see how that makes you feel, how that makes you think. All that is incoming communication. So those are things we have to realize, yeah, that communication encompasses a lot of things. And when we learn to do that in a healthy way, that helps us in attracting somebody who's also healthy. Yeah? Of course, there has to be physical attraction. That has to be there because that's the doorway. Yeah? But you have to walk through that doorway eventually and get to know the other person. See, this is why living the star knowledge, Lakota star knowledge way can really help you. Because when you live this way, number one, you're taking time to get to know yourself. Yeah? You're taking time that you need to get to know yourself. And that's how you come to peace with yourself, with your past. So when you do that, you naturally do that to everything that you experience for the first time, or to every person that you meet for the first time. It's just a natural thing. This way you don't judge. Yeah, you don't say things like, "Oh, all green people are the same, and all orange people are this way." Because you don't do that because you're communicating from within you, where your soul, your body, your mind, and emotions all connect to each other is deep within you. This is your sacred center. So when you live this Lakota star knowledge way, you're communicating as a human. You're not communicating as your culture or your skin color. You're communicating as you. And you begin in your sacred center. Yeah? That's very important. And so when you do that, see, you don't judge people based on their appearance, their skin color, because you take the time to know them, because that's what you did to yourself. And this is why I have friends all over the world. Yeah, this is why I have Irish sisters, Catherine and Imelda, Aaron, and why I have friends all over the world, because I took the time to know them. That's what I did to me. Yeah, I did that to myself first, and now I naturally do that to other people. Sometimes it ends up that I don't really like the person. Maybe they don't like me either, but at least I know. Yeah, I took the time to find that out instead of judging somebody because of the way they look or the color of their skin or how they talk or whatever. I took the time to know them. Okay, so when you can be this way, yeah, you meet somebody, and of course there has to be physical attraction, but you go beyond looks. Yeah, looks are just superficial, so you have to go underneath those looks, and you do that by taking time to getting to know how that person thinks. Because remember, reality begins within, in thoughts. Thoughts can become matter. Thoughts can become reality. Energy can become matter. It all begins within. So it's up to us to do that. This is why it's important to communicate as a human being and not, not as a culture, or not from the color of your skin, or not from your tribal way, but from your inner way. And that begins in your sacred center, as I said earlier, where your body, mind, and emotions and soul connect. That's your sacred center. So that's key. That's really important. And if you can do that, if you can accomplish that, you're headed for a lot of good times. Yeah? And when difficulties come, that doesn't scare you away. You're able to deal with it because you are emotionally developed when you live this way. So you know how to deal with a difficulty immediately, no matter how difficult it is. You know that you have to take time to explore it and check it out and see how it works and see what you can do, make the best of it, learn from it. Then the emotions leave. The emotions that came with that experience leave. And in comes peace, knowledge, and wisdom, as I said earlier. That's so crucial. This is the foundation and framework for healthy love. And it includes all emotions, because some of those emotions are part of learning. They leave. When you learn and make the best of it, those certain emotions leave. And other emotions are meant to be enjoyed. You enjoy the experience. Either way, it leads to blessings. When you have a difficulty, you learn from it, make the best of it, come to peace with it. And those emotions leave and bring you peace, knowledge, and wisdom, which are blessings. And in another way, some experiences happen to you out of the blue, or because of what you did or what somebody else did. And that doesn't matter. You treat them all the same. These ones are blessings to begin with. They're meant to be enjoyed until the next experience. It's when you try to stay and live in an emotion, that's when you get into trouble, because you're forcing yourself to only be in that one emotion, and what's happening is you're becoming an addict. You're becoming addicted to a false idea of love. So, if you become that way, that's emotionally unhealthy, because you're not developing emotionally. When difficulties come, you deny them, you run away from them, and so the emotions that came with those experiences, they stay in you because you don't deal with it, because you don't take the time to know it, to learn from it. So the emotions get trapped inside of you. So you try to deny it by saying there's nothing wrong. But while you do that, and the longer you do that, all that energy from those emotions, those difficult emotions, build up inside of you until one day it's going to explode. You could lead to a nervous breakdown. That's one possibility. So you try to deny it by trying to force yourself to only have good thoughts, to only focus on the good, what you think is good. So you're forcing yourself to do that. You're oppressing yourself because you're not learning from difficulty, and you're trying to force yourself to remain happy at all times. you're becoming dualistic. You're saying that those difficult emotions are bad, they're evil, so you must stay away from them. And you try to force yourself to only feel happiness and nothing more. That is addiction. And that is not healthy. So when you are that way, you're going to attract somebody that way too. And all your relationships will fail. Even if you force yourselves to stay together for 60 years, it's still not a happy union because you don't really know each other. You don't really know yourself. When you are dualistic, you don't know yourself. Yeah, because you're trying to deny the difficult from your past, the difficulties from your past. You don't really know yourself. Yeah? So you don't take the time to know others as well. So you only focus on the outer appearance. That's unhealthy relationships. You only focus on the things that you like. And you call the rest of that person bad. That's kind of stupid when you think about it. But that's unhealthy. It's superficial because you're just focusing on that outer appearance. You're not going to the sacred center. You're not taking the time to know your sacred center, so you don't take the time to know your partner's sacred center. So both of you only focus on the superficial. Those relationships never work. I know that's a powerful statement, but it's unhealthy. It's like a virus. They only get worse. The longer you stay in one, the more addictive it becomes, and the more oppressed you become. That is not love. That's an addiction. It's only trying to focus on what they think is good. Yeah, that's not love. Love includes facing difficulties, learning from them, making the best of them, so that you can enjoy your blessings. And when you live this way, you're transforming your difficulties into other blessings. But you have to know yourself first. You have to come to peace with yourself first, because reality begins within. And like I said before, when you live this way, your relationships are going to be wonderful. And even if it ends, you're going to be at peace with it. Then the next one comes. Yeah? Because you're always changing. Life is about change, too. Love includes all emotions, not just happiness. It includes all emotions. That we learn from difficulty, so those difficult emotions go, and they're replaced with peace, knowledge, and wisdom. As I said earlier, several times, it's worth saying again. This is how you become emotionally healthy. Because when you live this way, you develop emotionally. As those difficult emotions from difficult experiences leave you after you learn from it and make the best of that situation, you are also developing emotionally. And that's helping you to develop spiritually. You are a being of love. And this is how you live. And that's how you attract a healthy partner. Okay? So just think about that. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to last forever, but you shouldn't be thinking like that anyway. In the Lakota Star Knowledge way, you stay in the present moment. You enjoy the love as it's happening. because you stay in the present moment, in the here and now. As long as you do that, you're investing in your relationship as well as your own lives, both you and your partner. That's beautiful. And like I said, it starts with getting to know yourself so you communicate from your sacred center and not from the color of your skin. So you meet somebody, you find them attractive, and since you have come to peace with yourself, you take the time to get to know the other person. Because maybe it works. Maybe that person is like you in more ways than you think. That could be the beginning of something beautiful. And even if it doesn't work, you still learn from it and move on.